Hey traders, it's Mark with the OR Trader with another blog post. This time I'd like to go back and revisit my May 22nd blog post about the market tops and bottoms and the Fibonacci trick that I showed you, and revisit that concept. And right now it's Thursday afternoon, the 21st of June, and the market's just about ready to close here. We've had a really big sell-off day today. And there's a lot of bearish talk going on the television and around trading circles, and I wanted to bring back that Fibonacci trick and show you that we might be having an opportunity for it to fire off, but this time to the upside instead of the downside. Now you can go back and watch the video from the May 22nd blog post, but I'll refresh your memory here. We had this high here, and we pulled back, and then we put in a new high. This high was higher than this high. Then we had a pullback, and the pullback took out the key pivot here, the last pivot low before the new high. And so you knew that there was going to be an extended pullback when we took out this pivot. And so the market pulls back. Well, then it makes a pivot here, and what you want to do, is, and I showed you on the last blog post, and I'll draw it here. Take these Fibonacci retracement lines, and you want to go from the high down to the low. And this red line here is the 61.8 line, and whichever bar touches that 61.8 line, that bar becomes a key bar, and you want to watch the low of that bar. So if we roll over and take out the low of that bar, then of course you know that that's a sell signal, because you're putting in a lower high to this high back here. And so once it fired off, and you can see here we gapped down on the day that it fired, and had a big sell-off day that day that kicked it off, and then we pushed down. Well, back on in May, we were down here about to make this pivot low, and I said what you want to look for is flag action up here, put in a pivot, roll over, and then not be able to put in a new low. And we had sort of a like an ABC pattern here, like a little zigzag. It came up here, pivoted, pulled back, and then zigzag back up here and put in a pivot here. So you got this bear flag action here, and then we rolled over and we put in a new low. Okay. And one thing I want to point out is when you're using this this Fibonacci trick, and you're trying to find is this a market top or a market bottom, you want to watch for these pivots, okay, to be close to each other. Okay. Up here you'll see, let me take this down here. Up here you'll see that this pivot and this pivot here, they're close to each other, okay? And these aren't as close, but it's still I think a decent setup here. Now one thing we want to watch for is we've had this big sell-off day today here, and what we're going to do is we're going to draw the Fibonacci's again, okay? This time we're going to go from the low. Okay, going to go from the low up to the high, and this will be a pivot after today. Okay, so we go from the pivot low to the pivot high, and here's our 61.8 line again. Okay, and that number is, let's see, it's going to be 1296.28. Okay, so whichever bar comes down here, like now tomorrow, I'm expecting Friday to be an inside bar. Okay, so I'm not expecting it to happen tomorrow. I'm actually expecting tomorrow to be an inside bar to this large bar here. And actually, I'll probably do another blog post on the reason why I think that. And it has to do with how the week develops. Okay, so anyway, we're about done with the day. We've got about another 15 minutes here. We're past 4 o'clock, but we're in that last 15 minutes. And so what we're going to be looking for is over the next couple of days, if we get a day that comes down and touches the 96.28, all right, that bar, the high of that bar, is going to be the signal. Okay, so if we come down here past the 61.8 line, whichever bar touches it first, the high of that bar, if we turn around and trade above the high of that bar, that's going to fire off a buy signal. Okay, and what you're going to have here is, let me take this down so you can see a little bit better here. You've got a shoulder here, okay? You've got a head here, and what we're anticipating is putting in the right shoulder over here, and then when it turns back and takes out the high, you'll have an inverted head and shoulders pattern. Okay. Now you could say that we've already had that happen. Okay, with this pivot here. However, I really don't think that's the case, and let's draw these Fibonacci lines here. All right. If you go from this low to this high, you see the pullback didn't even reach the 50% retracement. So it really wasn't a good enough pullback. You really want to see them come into this ambush zone at least, and you really want to see it go at least 61.8. That's a good pullback. That's a good test. And then when it turns around, then that can be a shoulder. But we didn't get a big enough pullback on this one here, and that's why I'm thinking we're about to set up that right shoulder on a head and shoulders, or inverse head and shoulders, and then turn around for a buy signal. So we'll watch that, and of course, let's ask ourselves. Okay, let's say I'm wrong. Okay, let's do a trend line here. Let's go here to here, and let's do a parallel bar here. All right, let's take it up here to this high. Okay, so we've got this channel here. This is still bear flag action here, and let me show you the last low here. We'll go over here, pull this down right here. Okay, so you can see that these lows here, we broke them, we came down, now we've bounced back up, we've come to them. Actually, in a strong trending market, you shouldn't be able to get back up to these pivots, and you can see we got above them. Okay, so that's telling you that this down trend here isn't as strong as maybe the bears would like it, by being able to get up above these pivots here. So if we pull back in here, put in a, hit that 61.8 line, put in a pivot, trade above that bar, we could be back, headed back up. And I still believe that we're going to 1500, and of course that's based upon a monthly chart back from October. We had an outside bar from October, and that's a whole nother subject. But maybe this is the trigger that will take this market back up to the 1500 area. But this channel, if I'm wrong, okay, and we come down here and hit this 61.8, and we break this channel, this flagging action here, and of course this pivot up here would be the pivot you'd want to watch. And if we break this, then maybe we have another leg down, maybe to come down and put in a double bottom, or maybe even go put another leg in. But I don't know what the market's going to do. All I can tell you is that if we have a retracement here that comes to the 61.8, you want to pay attention to that day, and the high of that day. We break above the high of that day, I think it's going to be a good buy signal. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this video, and hopefully that's helpful. And if you guys have any questions, or you can always shoot me an email, and I'll try to my best to answer it. All right, guys. See you later.